So we're gonna do a steak food hack. I haven't done one of those in a hot minute. And we have a single steak right here, made with real Angus beef. It's a $12 steak. It's not super expensive, but it's not cheap either. I've let it de-thaw to room temperature. And to avoid making a mess on this nice clean stove, we're going to cook it in here. And before we get into cooking our damn steak, we're going to have to add some ingredients before we heat it up. Before we address this situation, we're going to have to address the pan situation. We got some of this bacon grease, rendered bacon fat. A little bit of that bacon fat to the bottom of our pan. And of course we need some Country Crock original butter spread. And grab another fork. Now we got a clean fork. We're going to address the situation. Let's take a look at this gorgeous steak. See, it's not too thin, not too thick. That's actually a decent sized little steak for 13 bucks. That's not bad. Now we're going to just take our fucking fork and we'll just stab it with our fork. Stab it with our fork. Put that one in the sink. Now we're going to take our steak and we're going to add our seasoning to it. Turn the pan on to like right there. That'll get that melted. Now what seasoning are we going to add to our steak before we put it in the pan? We got some bone sucking sauce, steak seasoning and rub. And some garlic powder. And we are going to garnish the steak with some other ingredients. But we'll get to that later. There's the seasoning. We're going to flip it. And get that buttery grease and bacon, all that cooking in there. And take that raw steak and put the seasoned side down first and hit the top of it. So seasoned side down first. There it is. Now we're going to hit that top of that steak with some more of our bacon grease. Does this seem a bit excessive? Possibly, but that's why these cooking videos I make are delicious. You ever cooked steak and bacon grease and butter spread? Probably not. First time for everything, I suppose. That's good. Bacon up. Then we hit the top of that steak with our butter spread from Country Crock. And I'm not going to be in a rush to like cook this damn steak up. Medium heat. The steak is missing something though for cooking it. And I think I know what it's missing, YouTube. Some beer. We're gonna pour some beer into our pan. It goes without saying not to bless the pan. Pour just a splash of beer on top like that. That should be enough. You want to overflow it, maybe a little bit more. Boop. Okay, that's enough. So that both sides get a coating, just like that. And I want to barely cook the steak because I like mine bloody to medium rare, so this will not take long. You want a close-up of that steak action, don't you? Yeah, look at that sizzling sexiness. Oh, look at that, it's getting all fogged up from the cooking. So far, I'm liking the way the steak is smelling. I'm not going to cook it for too much longer, but just long enough that we get a nice outside sear. And we're going to want to hold on to that steak grease with all the butter spread, the bacon grease, and all that beer and that seasoning, and the steak grease. Because we're going to need that to saute our onions. Don't want to overcook it because I like my steaks medium rare. Flip it again. That's a hot steak. I would not recommend doing that by hand. That's not going to be cooked on there for too much longer. Just about done. I don't want to go too much longer on it because I don't want to ruin a good steak. And if you like your steak well done, then you eat steak the way you want to fucking eat it. Because I want to eat it the way I'm going to fucking eat it. Steak. Check the bottom of that. That's looking beautiful. Let's transfer it to a plate. Hi, Chihuahua, that's hot. Put the plate over here so we don't drip on the counter. Oh, look at that sexiness. As that cools down, the majority of that liquid's going to be reduced. See, the liquid levels here are not looking too shabby right there. You see that? A little bit of liquid at the bottom. Caramelized onions. Like, you can just smell the grease coming off of this. It smells amazing. And I got some prepared right here in the can. They're already diced. Which, if you want to get fancy with it and chop the onions by hand and get all Chef Gordon Ramsay with it, cool. But sometimes we don't have time to cook, so it's good to have stuff that's pre-made. Should I throw a little bit more grease into the pan for our caramelized onions? I think we should. Grab a fresh fork and do a scoop of that in there. And some bacon up, bacon grease. There's a factory that takes and cans up bacon grease. It's a wonderful thing. One of my fans sent me this, and I'm here for it. Now the sponsor. Now you get these onions open and just dump them in there. Nice and easy like. Maybe throw on like a little bit of garlic powder on top of our onions. Maybe some of that other seasoning we used. And you don't need a whole lot because there was already plenty on that steak. One little splash of the beer in there. Perfect. Put the lid on top here. We want to put some of this roasted garlic, rotisserie and cheese on top. And to that, we're going to add bacon bits and gravy and those caramelized onion bits. When that cools off, we're going to add a pre-made slice of this fish. This is a Blue Hill smoked salmon. I think it's what it is. Caramelized onions be like. So I'm gonna give those a stir. Get it coated in all that steak and grease and all that. We're also gonna need to add sauce to it besides gravy. I got some A1 steak sauce that we can use. While the onions are heating up, we can get the cheese ready for it. So I'm gonna cut this cheese into chunks. And then we're gonna microwave the chunks and just pour the cheese on top of the steak. The chunks don't gotta be pretty because they're all gonna get melted. The smell coming off these onions is very nice. Feel nice and like cooked and all the sauce that you're in. Let's go ahead and kill the heat. 28 minutes to make this, it ain't too bad. The thing about cooking is a lot of people don't have a whole lot of time. They want something that's cheap, easy to make, stacked with calories, and fucking delicious. This bowl of the garlic cheese, and we're going to melt it and then drizzle it on top of our steak. Right after the onions are done cooling off. Brown gravy is delicious. So I'm going to take a little bit of our brown gravy, kind of pour some in there. That should be enough for the top of it, I would think. Maybe like a little bit more. And to our gravy, we're going to add some A1 steak sauce. I'm going to take the A1 steak sauce and stir it around with the brown gravy. Now we're going to take the cheese, we're going to melt it in the microwave so it's all ooey gooey. Then we're going to pour the cheese on top and get that money shot right there. Now I'll show you with the gravy first. We've got a high-powered microwave. We're going to microwave that goddamn gravy and A1 steak sauce mixture for 2 minutes. Then we're going to pour the gravy on top of our steak. Then we're going to do the cheese after that. And that is cooked. That is piping hot. So I'm going to take this gravy and barbecue, or not barbecue, blah. Gravy and steak sauce going on. Oh, look at that. Get the fuck on there. Oh, goddamn, that looks good. Do a 2-minute burst until we get that cheese nice and melted. Then once we get the cheese melted, we're going to drizzle it on top of our gravy. I mean, I haven't done a steak food hack in quite a long time, and I do like my meats. Goddamn, son. Now after that 2-minute burst, I had about 34 seconds left, and the cheese was definitely starting to melt. Oh my fucking God. Sweet baby Satan, look at that. It's still stuck to the inside. We're gonna have to scrape it all out, YouTube. That bowl is hot tamales, man. So I'm gonna take and just all that cheese, all that melted garlic cheese. Yeah, we're going to smear this on top. Yeah, the cheese is definitely fucking melted. It was starting to bubble, and I don't want to overcook it. But putting like all this melted cheese on top of a steak. I'll give you a close-up of this action before we do our final 2 steps here, or 3 steps. Look at that. Look at it. Now we're going to take our caramelized onions. And we're going to drizzle the caramelized onions on top of that melted cheese. Now, a whole container for a steak that big might not be necessary, but it's like a bloody million calories here, but that's why it's probably going to taste delicious. Scoop it on there. Drenched in fucking onions, no doubt. This thing is like covered in onions. I think we got them as much as we're going to need. There's a couple left in the pan, but we can snack on those. Like, this just looks ridiculously unhealthy, YouTube. And of course, it goes without saying, some goddamn bacon bits. Goddamn, son. Not quite the entire container of bacon bits, but that's most of it. Got a handful of bacon. There is no way I can fit any more ingredients on top of here. The sauce is legitimately spilling out over the edge of the plate. The amount of grease coming off of this is astonishing. All that gravy and that grease is spilling out over the edge of the plate. That didn't take us too long to make, about 46 minutes or so. But look at that, all the bacon, the cheese, the gravy. That just looks delectable, man. You get some like rolls to go with that to soak up any of the excess gravy. That'd be a hearty meal for sure. Like I said, this Blue Hill Bay herb smoked salmon, 100% real fish, fully cooked, 12 grams of protein per serving, no artificial preservatives, and it's gluten-free. I'm gonna sip some of this gravy off the edge real quick. And I got most of the sauce off here. A little bit on the outside ain't gonna hurt. But take a look at that sexiness. It is covered in gravy. I did not need to pour that much gravy onto it. This is again a slice of smoked salmon right there. And it's already pre-cooked, so all you gotta do is take it out of the packaging and eat it. As long as you eat it within the next 5 days of purchasing it, you'll be fine. And it said, and I quote, do not cross-contaminate with undercooked or raw food. So if I want to garnish this on my deal here, I'm gonna make sure that it's at least cooked. You don't want to come open, YouTube. Let's try a pocket knife. Yeah, there we go. Boy, this does not want to come out of the packaging, dude. Like, bro, I'm trying to make a fucking cooking video and it's like, nope, screw you. Did we have access? I think we gained access. Oh, yeah, look at that. That is beautiful. The skin is still on there on the bottom. and on the top. So all I'm gonna do is just bloop, delicately garnish right there, just like that. And I think that will be what we call a food hack.